so I just tweeted something. I've been working on a example for a talk that I'm giving a couple times this year, and I just couldn't contain myself. I was like, this is amazing. I want to share this, and so I shared it, but I don't. At first I was like, I don't want to spoil anything. I'm not going to share this, but then I just decided I'll live stream about what this is. So that's why I didn't put anything in like to give any context to this. But I just think this is really an awesome idea. It actually is sort of related to, I should have had this up, another tweet that I just did. Here, actually, I click on that. Where I was saying, the secret to flexibility and simplicity is to have fewer opinions and do less. Build opinionated things on top of the simple and flexible things. So we have this simple and flexible accordion, and on top of that we're building this tabs, which itself is also simple and flexible, but it has the opinion on how that accordion should manage its state. So I'll just show you how this works. This is the end result of these examples. We have this standard accordion experience, and you can also have this accordion where the contents come above and to the left and to the right, and then you can also have different states. So far we've just been doing like unique UI. Here we're managing state differently because now you can only open one. On this one you can open as many as you like, but you cannot close all of them. So we're managing state differently. And then this one's a combination of the two, where you can only open one at a time and you can't close it. And when you build that, you're like, oh wait, this is like a tabs UI. And so then you just change things. You manage state in the same way that you did with this last one, but it's a tabs UI. And then we can also change how that's built. So like, spoiler alert, that's my demo for my thing, and this is the way that it's built. I mostly built it this way so that I can have individual components for each one of these, but there's a lot of shared code here that I'm intentionally not sharing. So anyway, you can take a look at this, but the thing in particular that I wanted to show off was the accordion that's powering all of those examples is like 50 lines long, pretty short. And the way that it works is it's using a render prop. So you have flexibility from a UI perspective. You can have it on the left, right, top, bottom, whatever you want, and also the tabs UI. But then you can manage the state or have control over the state because we're using a state reducer. So anytime we want to make a state change, we're going to first call your state reducer, and you can decide what you want to do with that with the state changes. So I click on an item. You can decide if you want to let all of them open or toggle it closed or whatever. So yeah, so if we look at the tabs, actually here we have the tabs. This is the stuff that I just tweeted, and it's actually fairly straightforward. It's just it accepts a state reducer to enable further customization, and then it has these different state reducers. So let's you're probably curious what this combine reducers and what these functions actually do. So if we look at shared, we'll see combine reducers takes any number of reducers and returns a new reducer that will take the state and the changes. That's the signature of our state reducer that the accordion implements. And then for each of the reducers in there, we're going to call the reducer. And as soon as you know what, maybe I should change the way this works and have it call all the reducers. But right now, the way that it works is as soon as it meets a reducer that actually wants to make a change to how things work, or to what the changes object is. So as soon as it returns an object that's not the same, then we're going to return that. So for example, single, we're going to say, hey, if the changes type is opening, then let's just take, of all the open indexes in the changes, let's just take the last one. The last one, I guess. I don't need to say more words about that. Prevent close if we're closing and there's less than 2 current open indexes, then don't let it happen. And so then we combine these two to have one that can only open one at a time, and it prevents you from closing. And we use combined reducers to do that. So anyway, that's the way that the reducer thing works. And so then we get state flexibility through these state reducers, which I think is pretty legit. And then you can have this tabs UI. So here we'll look at the standard tabs. We're using that tabs component that has the state reducer. We can provide a state reducer here if we want to, but then we provide this render prop, and that's what the accordion allows us to do. So this children function accepts the open indexes and handle item click, and then we have a couple like these components that are styled. I don't want to say styled components. That's what they are. They're not. It's not using styled components. It's using emotion, but yeah, they're styled components. Yeah, so we take all the items, we iterate over them to make accordion buttons for each one of those, and then when they're clicked, then we'll call handle item click with the index, and then we'll have the UI for the contents of the currently open tab. Yeah, it's kind of cool. We're using React Pose, which is like pretty legit. So yeah, and then for the above, we just swap these. So now the above tab item thing is here, which is pretty cool. That's a nice thing about render props. And like my biggest for the talk, the biggest argument here is that like I have implemented all of this functionality in a single component somewhere here in old stuff. I think in Ultimate, or I don't know. Maybe it was old accordion. So all of this functionality is possible with a single component. It can have tabs, can have an accordion, all of these different positions. But the couple problems, the implementation is really out of whack. The API is kind of weird. Yeah, maintaining this thing would be really difficult. And then because it has so many opinions built into it, you're shipping more code to your users. And so yeah, so anyway, those are some of the reasons why not to build it all in, have a cohesive single solution. A reason to enable this kind of flexibility is like, well, now like literally this accordion is 57 or 50 something lines of code, so that's like kind of neat. You're not shipping a ton of stuff. It is putting more work on the end user, but because we can't predict necessarily what everybody wants to build with this accordion, that makes it kind of tough. Also, with the old stuff and the like original accordion implementation, it kind of, you're making an opinion on how things look and feel and interact. Not a super awesome experience there either, because what if I, instead of emotion, I want to use styled components, or if I like want to have that flexibility. So anyway, I gotta run. It's been cool. I'll see you all later. Bye.